Hey, Sandcar BS crew, Conrad here. So we're going to be doing something new. Every Monday, I'm going to go ahead and review a classified ad from one of our current Sandcar Buy Sell members. And in that, well, I'll tell you what, let's start here because you're probably wondering why the Snapple lady is on our screen. I would love to tell you that this was brought to you by Snapple, but it's not. I bought all of this computer stuff, all right, the riser and the whole nine and the lights and microphone and whatnot, and I feel like that Snapple lady, hey, made from the best stuff on earth. So anyway, I just thought it was funny. And in this, let's see, jumping in, SAND TRIX STX2 by Rex Murphy. Now, Rex did not reach out to me and ask me to promote his car and help him sell it. I literally just went through our classifieds and picked one that I liked. I don't know everything about sand rails or sand cars. I mean, I know a lot. I'm definitely an enthusiast, but I'm going to point out some things that I like about it. And if you see some things that you like as well, go ahead and put that in the comments. Let's help Rex get this car sold. Let's get it to a new owner who can enjoy it. So right off the bat, what do we got? Selling my 2003 SAND TRIX STX2. I know these guys are based out of Arizona. I don't know if they're building cars anymore. I think my friend Rick, who's a fellow realtor of mine, let me give him some props right now. Let me give him a shout out. So Rick, I think he owned a SAND TRIX STX4 and for a few years, but he is a motocross racer. And if you can see, he's got his dirt bike on his trailer and he's got his Honda Goldwing attached to it. And this is like 5 o'clock in the morning. He's on his way to a local race here in Arizona. Now, I don't know about you, but riding motorcycles beats the hell out of me, and racing motocross is beyond me. I'm done with that, right? So not only does he ride his Goldwing to the race, but he races motocross, and then he rides his Goldwing home with his dirt bike on there. So mad props to you, Rick. Rick, if you happen to have any information about SAND TRIX that you can add into the comments, or if you want to make a short video, feel free to go ahead and do that. Otherwise, let's go ahead and jump into this SAND TRIX ad. What do we have? 2-seat. Now, that was one of the first things that caught my eye about this, right? Is the wheelbase on this car. It's probably a 110, maybe 115, somewhere around there. I'm not sure, but this is a very well-balanced machine. Where your seating position is versus the wheelbase, it's going to turn really well. And these are just observations that I see that I'm looking at. Very well built car. Look at the triangulation through here to your steering bar, down to the front, double shears on your front A-arms. Scat drag fast shifter, looks like center console. Let's move over to here. Now this front end on this car, bear with me as I fight through this one. Remember, this is my first one. This really reminds me of an ACECO, very similar. Mike Monahan of ACECO, he builds an absolutely epic car, and I'm going to show you a couple pictures here in a moment. But if you look at this front bulkhead design with the way this is all set up, this is like off-road racing technology right here. And now let me show you a couple pictures that I pulled of cars that were for sale recently. And let's take a look. So if we look at, again, all of this triangulation through here, these are ACECOs. Actually, this is an ACECO. This is the exact same car. There's a couple things that I want to point out about this. So we've got all of this strength up in the front end, and the SAND TRIX has done a very similar thing on that. Now, these two ACECOs, or this one ACECO, I wanted to point out to you guys, because when I saw this, Kevin shared this car, and I was just like, oh my God. Subaru Mendeola. I wants like 20 grand for it. And I'm like, but I recognize that car. There's not too many 2-seat ACECOs running around. So I went back through Race Desert and I found it. Here it is. So this is when this fella bought this car, and it had this, early 2000s paint job on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, how different this car looks now that he just powder coated the side panels and then powder coated the wheels black. I mean, he gave it a whole new look. It's pretty fantastic, and yeah. But these are desert race cars with sand tires. At the end of the day, they perform really well. They're really fast, and they're a lot of fun. I'm a sand car guy. So let me get rid of ACECOs, and let's take a look. See, all the same type of stuff in this. Also, you might be like, oh, but wait a second, it doesn't have front brakes, right? He's running spindle mount wheels. I happen to be a fan of running spindle mounts. Why? because these are sand cars. We're out in the sand dunes. This front end breaks, you tear a spindle off, you tear a wheel off, something breaks in here, the heim joints break, you're going to take that disc with it, and you're going to take that brake line with it as well. So it's just one more thing that we're going to need to fix in the field, which I don't want to. So I want to get it fixed as fast as possible and get back on the sand. So I particularly prefer to run spindle mount wheels on any car. I don't care which sand car it is. So moving on, what else do we have here? Oh, so he was talking about the engine. Let's jump into the notes on the engine. What do we got? 2276 dual 44s T324 blow through design. So here's your turbo, here's your snail or your hair dryer, whatever you want to call it. This is the T running into those dual 44s. So this is a blow through design. So the turbo blows through the carburetors into the engine. Msd Boost Control box, H-beam rods, 82 millimeter crank, angle cam, ratio rockers, 42 by 37.5 heads, chromoly push rods. That's what I wanted to show you guys. So for those of you that are like, oh, it's got a Volkswagen in it, right? I'm a Volkswagen guy. I love Volkswagen engines. I go back through, even the cars. Carmagillas, I've owned an oval window, 55 oval window, notchback, Baja Bug. Like, I'm a Volkswagen guy. I love them. It's not to say I don't like the V6s and the V8s as well, but I'm primarily a VW guy. In fact, my next car, I intend to put a Wankel in it because I've never run one, just because. But in this, he's got White Rhino Bubble Deck Block by CB Performance. And if you don't know Volkswagens, why is that important? Well, here I pulled up a picture of one of the cases, and raised roof surface, raised deck surface, logo, grooved cam plug, and filled in behind number 3. This case alone is $1,000. $1,000 for this VW case, much less all the other internal parts that's on this thing, right? But why is this case itself important? Because of this raised roof surface. When you stroke a Volkswagen, you're going to, what is it? You guys are going to tell me with this. You elongate the mains to throw those rods farther out, right? So when you elongate that, it means that you got a clearance at the top of the case. With this raised roof surface built in, it's going to give you all the room you need to throw that long crank. The other thing about this is it's already filled in behind cylinder number 3. What does that mean to you and me? Volkswagens are notorious for blowing the top of the case out over number 3. So they've remedied that right from the casting. This is not a Volkswagen part. This is a CB part. And it's worth every penny if you're a Volkswagen guy. So what I'm trying to get at when I'm looking at this ad, this engine is built right. So he went ahead and went internal with it. He's showing us, here's his cam, the H-beam rods, versus, the guy on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. It's like, oh, yeah, it's got a 2180 in it. Oh, where's your build sheet? You just have to trust me. So I appreciate the fact that he's showing us the build on this. Here it is on the engine stand. We've got, 3-rib bus trans. Who did he say? Did he say who built it? 1 to 4, gear 1, drivetrain, 930s, 300M axles. I mean, this is quality stuff, guys. 4-piston gear 1 brakes. This car is built right. Don't be afraid of a bus box, whether it's a 3-rib, 5-rib, 6-rib, an 091. These bus boxes are absolutely fantastic. They work very well, made it to a Volkswagen because these are high revving engines. Now, here's the thing about this. The last car that I ran that had a bus box, I got an 091 in it, was at the 6-rib, just because I was like, just put the best bus box we can put in there. And that's what we did. So I'm not really sure of the differences between the 3-rib and the 5-ribs. I just know a bus box is kind of a bus box. I know there's some differences. I don't know what they are. Maybe you guys know and you can educate me and everybody else. CNC, I wish these guys didn't go out of business because I love their products. What do we got here? Hard brake lines. Another shot of his 3-rib. Let's see. I don't know who built it. Old guys rule. It took decades to look this good. Yeah, I agree. What do you guys think? All right. Weddle, this is probably his clutch, this pressure plate. Here it is mounted up in the car. Let's see, we've got some trailing arms here, are nice tubular trailing arms. We've got some brake lines that are actually not held on by zip ties. It cracks me up how often I see that out in the dunes. I'm just like, okay. Moving on. What is this? There's some sort of, oh, it's a pressure regulator, some sort, fuel pressure regulator, because he's running that turbo. Eyebox springs, high pressure oil lines. You know, he spent some money on this car. Here they are mounted up to the car. Oil cooler with fan. And then right back to the ad itself, or the picture of the car itself. So all in all, what is he asking for this? $15,000 or make offer. So for me, when I'm looking at an ad like this and I'm looking at this car and you go, okay, well, it's not from a huge name brand builder. Well, SAND TRIX was back in the day when these cars were being built. I mean, a lot of these cars were being built back in the day, right? But then the side-by-side market pretty much just took off and killed all these little guys that are building these cars. So SAND TRIX, 15 grand or offer, and I'm looking at $1,000 Volkswagen case, full turbocharged system, really nice bus box that's in it. We've got, oh, the shocks. What did he say? Here it is. Where did it go? Oh, four Fox coilover shocks and 2 King bypass shocks. The bypasses must be in the back. I didn't see the picture of those. But dude, you got Fox shocks and you got Kings on there as well. Sand Tires Unlimited, which is the best tire you can get. 4-piston gear 1 brakes. Like when if you took a sheet and you started adding up how much money this fellow that Rex has spent on this car, you'd just be like, wow, this is a bargain. And that's why I'm sharing it with you, because if I was in the market for that style car, I would definitely pick this one up. So otherwise, my classified ad review is done. If you have anything you'd like to add about this car or SAND TRIX, positive, guys. Let's stay on a positive note on this, right? This is first world problems. I mean, we're having fun and we're spending a shit ton of money on these sand cars and a small fortune to go out to the sand dunes to enjoy them. So in that, if you've got something you'd like to add into the comments about this car, things that you noticed that maybe that I missed, or if you want to educate us on those Volkswagen bus transmissions, feel free to do that. And if you want to keep seeing these, let me know, because I intend to do these every Monday, because everybody went out over the weekend and rode, and then they get back and their buddies are razzing about getting a sand car, and they're like, oh crap, I need to get a sand car. Log into Sand Car Buy Sell, take a look. Let's look at this review and see if this might be a good fit for you. Otherwise, that's all I got. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the dunes.